Good evening. My name is John Rowe. I'm at Colorado Christian University. This is my Master's in Organizational Leadership thesis PowerPoint project, the second part of the project. My thesis has been titled Do You Like to Eat? Basically, we live in an area here in Ohio, Brown County, that's been devastated by poverty and food insecurities. And I've come up with, or hoping to come up with, a method or possibility to end, or at least hopefully reduce those issues that we have here in Ohio. The problem statement for the paper is children are the most effective part of the population by hunger and food reduced or related issues, mostly due to their dependence on the adults in their lives. And that's basically what I've come to the conclusion of, that most of the issues that we deal with are generational. Basically, if a kid's parents have this issue, they're going to be affected by this same issue. Thesis statement is hunger and food insecurities have become generational. And it's strictly based on, if your parents struggle with those issues, most likely you will as well deal with those issues. So the one thing to determine is when you deal with these kind of issues is, what is hunger? It's pretty simply to say that most people would say there are times in their lives that they're hungry. That isn't the issue that I'm dealing with here. This is basically the issue that people go to bed hungry. I mean, literally hungry because there are no food, or there is no food for them available, or they have to make a decision between, some other priorities in life versus buying the food substantial or necessary to quench their complete hunger and satisfy them. It's not just an Ohio issue. This is a national, federal, global issue. I mean, we see it on TV all the time. The people, they call them third world countries. I just think they're underdeveloped and just haven't had the opportunities that we have here in the States. But the problem is, the issues still exist in every one of the countries. It is a national problem. It's in all 50 states. But the problem that I've come up against, or an issue that I've come up against, is it's hard to solve the problem from a global perspective. So what my thesis has been about is a community initiative that's focused on a microscopic level. I mean, literally, I want to try and fix hunger here in Brown County, Ohio. This one of 88 counties in Ohio. We're focused on just that. We began a nonprofit organization titled All About Community. We've been focused on this issue for the past 4 or 5 years, and we'll continue to build on that through the steps and everything that we've gained through this program. And the key is, we have to change the way we look at hunger. I mean, people are hungry every day, but we have to figure out how to address the issue from a perspective that we change the mindset of the people that are being affected. I mean, we can offer temporary assistance, but that doesn't fix the problem. That's just, in a sense, a band-aid on the situation when surgery is required. So we have to address it from a deeper level, get involved with the people, interact with the people, find out where they're at, and meet them where they are. We're striving to do this from a Christian perspective. As Jesus was, he told us to, if you do this to the least of these, then you've done it unto me. Well, he never said not to help. So we've always strived to help. But the problem is, we can only, if we teach them to fish, then we've helped them better than if we only offer the fish to them. So we will continue to look for methods and alternatives to address the issue from a deeper perspective. By just teaching people what hunger truly is. It's the people that go to bed every night, still hungry because there is no alternative. The way we'd like to do it is actually through an outreach center, and offer a one-stop shop outreach center titled Mama's House. This is in part due to my grandmother. Mama is how we referred to her from the time we were wee little. this was a place when you went to her house, you never left hungry. Uh, it may be the dead of night or first thing in the morning, but she would always supply you with a warm meal. Uh, Different ways, she would always listen. She always wanted to know, what was going on in your life, if there was something that she could help you with or assist with. Just different ways to just offer a hand, never judgmental. But she would let you know when you were wrong. She would let you know if there was something that you were doing wrong. But like I said, she was never judgmental to the part where you didn't want to come back for the assistance that she was willing to offer. Like I said, it's basically going to be set up as a 501c3 nonprofit, which we've already began our nonprofit, and we would just expand into this. But basically, the key is to, set up an action plan. And we want to develop contacts and goals, set up some type of networking, build partnerships with people that are already doing this kind of process, but just allow them to understand that we want to do this from a microscopic level. The large worldwide and global issues would not be our focus at this point because, as Christ said in Luke, if you, in order to go into the world, you got to start here in Jerusalem. Well, our Jerusalem is Brown County. That's where we want to start, and we can't solve a problem throughout the world unless we can solve the problem that exists in our own backyard. So, like I said, and we want to just continue to monitor it. We don't want to just throw plans out there, let them work, and see what happens and go from there. And measurement is going to be, obviously, that's our means of monitoring and figuring out our feedback and seeing how things are progressing through the system. But the key is we have to figure out what initiatives work. There'll be several things that we kind of throw at it because these goals have tried and failed many a times over, and there are plans that have tried and succeeded many a times over. So we need to figure out what initiatives work for us based on the community and the problems that we have here locally, and then develop a sense of measurement and monitoring that would reflect those initiatives that we choose. And basically the center would be set up with just some basic goals that we would try to do. I mean, obviously we would try to do, we would still continue to do some type of short-term food options. I mean, if people are hungry, it's going to be hard for them to want to be better, want to better themselves when they're hungry. Set up temporary housing. Brown County is one of the few that does not offer a homeless shelter or any type of short-term housing options for people who may be, down on their luck or just had a bad run of luck at times. And then from that point, we want to do some different types of counseling. Financial counseling, obviously, if you can't manage your money, it would be hard to find a way out, to dig your way out of the situation. Drug and alcohol, heroin, different things. Obviously, it's a nationwide epidemic, but it has become an epidemic here in Brown County as well. So we want to offer options for that as well. And employment counseling. We got some local schools, trade schools that we could work with to try and offer some opportunities for learning some skill sets through some programs of that nature. Like I said, Mamaw is a place. Mamaws will hopefully become a place that you can just call home, that will give you the help with no judgments and just kind of help you get back on your feet. Like I said, for a 3-year program, or we know as well that this isn't going to be fixed overnight. This issue has existed, from the beginning of time in a sense. People have always been hungry, been enslaved to try and meet their needs. So we have to first understand that we can't fix this overnight. And we know it's going to take a team. We know it's going to take a big team, a team of passionate people, as well as a team of competent individuals that know the industry, in a sense, know marketing, know research and stuff like that, just to keep up with everything that's trending. And then we want to try and we want to set a goal. I mean, we would like to have within 3 years have our government and our community be completely involved in methods and policies that would try to eliminate this problem by 2019. Once again, like I said, as a conclusion, just to wrap this thing up, we have to remain focused on what it is we're doing. We can't just throw darts and hope stuff works. We have to remain passionate and focused on the individuals that we're helping. And to understand as well, there is a correct method of help. Offering all of the stuff without any kind of follow-up that's not help. That's actually harming the people that we deal with much more than it is if we just left it alone. Because there's been so many attempts to help people that have failed miserably and actually done more damage to those people than if they would have just left it alone. So like I said, there is a correct method for doing it. We just want to make sure that we're doing it correct, or doing it that way. And one thing to remember is, as the screen says here, remember the average human being lives 27,375 days. What effect on poverty would we have if we helped just one person every 7 days? This is a choice. Every day that when you run into people like this, or options that you make, you have a choice. You can either choose to help people, or you can choose not to help people. We choose to help. Thank you once again. My name's John. Like I said, that's Masters of Organizational Leadership for Colorado Christian University, 2016. Thanks.